The skies are bleak, and the streets are dirty. It'll be another wonderful day here in Gotham City. This is part 2 of Shaman Arena. We are 3-0 currently, and I'm hoping to turn this into my first 12-0 arena. So, without further ado, there's a very quick look at the deck. And back up, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Find our next worthy opponent, and hopefully wreck their face. Though, being 2 a.m. on the East Coast means that there are not only players on the East Coast, but pretty much every player on the West Coast is now playing as well. So, we may run into some very stiff competition. Uther. I really like Paladin Arena. Had Paladin been one of my choices, I may have chosen that over Shaman. This is an okay starting hand. It's not fantastic. That makes it a little better.
Job's done.
Typically, I would try to hold on to this, but if it's my only 2-drop, I might play it turn 2 just so that I don't lose momentum. That seems to be the case, so there we go. He could have Sword of Justice, which is really good. He could have... Name escapes me. The 4 mana 4/2 that heals you for 2 when you attack. Which is really good. True Silver Champion. True Silver Champion. That card is nuts. It's probably one of the best arena cards, hands down.
For the crusade!
Gives you so much reach. This is absolutely perfect for Earthshock. I think Twilight Drake is probably the only target that is more preferred there. It's a pretty good start. Next turn, if all goes well, I'll play Chillwind Yeti. This is probably going to die anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and just throw it in and see what I draw. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play Yeti and pass. This has wicked potential, but if I were to just attack in, he had anything that could deal 1 damage, I would lose it without a whole lot of value. This is probably the worst dynamic background in the whole game, this one corner here, because this is really the only thing you can interact with. And then there's this, which does nothing. Sit here and click it for 20 minutes. It's never going to do anything. You would think it would eventually do something. That's not the case. If I Wind Fury the Yeti, I can attack here twice, and then I'll get a creature. And I think that's actually good enough value to do so. Free creature's a free creature, even if I do miss the battle cry there. And you may say that attacking there would have been the same as attacking last turn, but I had the healing totem, so even though it can still die easily, it's more likely to sustain value. And then he does that. It proves me entirely wrong. Okay, so I think 3 damage there. And lightning bolt for good measure.
Reporting for duty.
This is not a fantastic play because I take 8 damage, which is obviously horrible, but I just don't want that staying on the field. I think it's better to have a weaker field than more life.
Behold the might of Stormwind!
Attack this twice. I'll take 6 damage and gain 5 max. I'll take 1 damage total, which means you'd only need to reach for 5. Fairly unlikely. I'm going to go ahead and take that out.
Elements guide me.
This is not a good spot to be in, though. The Argent Commander wins here.
Pass me that arc light spanner.
Wonder if he's just BMing me. Sitting there with the win con in hand, just waiting the very last second. Oh. Guess he decided he didn't want to go for it.
Reporting for duty.
Interesting.
Elements guide me.
Don't mess with us.
Elements guide me.
Pretty bleak situation here. It's a pretty solid play if you had a way to trigger that Wind Fury.
Reporting for duty.
Take that out, attack here, and play everything. Start building up that board. Once I keep pulling these taunt totems, I should be okay. Healing totem would be really nice in conjunction with the Imp Master too.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, let's test his secret here. Okay, that's what I thought it would be.
Get down!
Let the dark in.
There's the healing totem. Lord of the Arena. implies that this card should be insanely good in Arena, and it's kind of mediocre.
For the king! The frost wolves stand ready.
Check for taunt. Nope. I have no way to take out either of those, so
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
play creature. And then just attack face because I can't take out either, so I might as well get some damage in.
Dark in.
He only needs 2 damage out of hand. Oh, he doesn't have it, so he's going for board control. He's playing that very smart. Like I said last episode, if you don't have board control, if you don't have lethal, I mean, there's not a whole lot of reason to try to go for face. And that leaves him with 7 once again. Still only needs 2. But he also has to find a way to get rid of this, so he really needs 4. There it is, True Silver Champion. Okay, so that makes us 3 and 1. Means the next person we play will have lost once. So we're gonna work off the optimistic view that because they've lost once, that their deck is bad. Of course, I've lost once, but we can chalk that up to bad luck, right? Whenever we lose, it's bad luck. Whenever they lose, it's because they're bad. And for those of you that are extremely hard of hearing mentally, that was sarcasm.
Thrall versus
Jaina.
You asked for it.
for Doomhammer.
Getting rid of Hex and Wind Fury because Hex is really good against bigger creatures. Wind Fury can be a win condition, so I want to draw both of those later. These are both great early game. These are early game. We'll just have a really solid hand all around there. Let's go ahead and get River Croc out. The reason to play River Croc over Stormforged Axe, I don't want him to know that I have this yet, because he could have played a Acidic Swamp Ooze right there instead of playing Frostbolt, and he would have got a lot of value.
Let the pain speak to me.
And instead of this in the last episode, I'll go ahead and say it again. Whenever I have the option between playing a totem, playing a card from hand, unless the card in hand is absolutely necessary for the situation, I will always totem because the totems are endless, the cards are limited. And as such, the cards are more important later in the game should you go into fatigue.
Your magic shall not save you.
Hey look, I have a 0-2. Stay on curve. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play Unbound Elemental and Voodoo Doctor, healing myself. And I will go ahead and attack it, that way next turn I'll be able to kill it. Now placement's very important with the Shaman. Even though I did not get any Flame Tongue totems, the opponent does not know that. Excuse me. So what he would expect me to do is how I'm playing. You put your best creatures on the left, you put totems and smaller creatures on the right. That way you can set a Flame Tongue totem right in the middle and do what Trump calls the totem tango, where you just attack in, it dies, the next one scoots over, you attack in, it dies. Keep doing it, keep replacing it with totems. So by playing it this way, he will assume that I have Flame Tongue totems, even though I didn't draft any. That's troublesome. I'll go ahead and play my big taunt here, just because, like I said, he's troublesome. But how cool is that that belt buckle there? Ship's wheel, that's pretty cool. I love in the Nax expansion where Kel'Thuzad gets angry because one of the other bosses plays Sea Giant. Okay, there we go, Hex. Just about what we needed there. Go ahead and play Death Lord. Could have totemed there, then I would have been left over with 2 mana, and it's best to try to stay as close to curve as possible to make sure you're getting the most value out of your turns. This is once again going to be a tough one to come back from. My most recent Mage arena, I actually got 3 Pyroblasts and a Leroy Jenkins, which is absolutely absurd, but it can happen. So he could have all the burst he needs in hand, he's just waiting for that 10th mana to come about. Didn't get any lightning storms either. Like I said, this deck is lacking in utility. Or just Fire Blast that, but I wanted to keep it on the field. This gets another 2 mana worth of value out of it, but ultimately the Fairy Dragon would have been harder to deal with because of its ability. It's a hex-proof like ability.
What to do?
That's also a good play.
Shields up.
Shield Bros. You know, attacking this is typically not a good play because it means that they're getting the most damage out of it. So for now, I will leave it as a 1/2 taunt, so I have a way to deal with the spiders that it spawns when it dies. Spectral Knight's really good. Let's see if I can get a taunt. I'm gonna go ahead and play Silverhand Knight. Well, no, I was going to because I wanted the 2 creatures, but he has Flame Strike. It'd be too good a value. I'm gonna play Spectral Knight. Harder to get rid of. Go ahead and attack that.
Elements guide me.
Attack that as well. Should have done that last turn. Got a lot of utility. I don't really know necessarily what I was thinking and waiting for her to do that. There goes Power Blast. Would have had it either way, even if I didn't attack. Like I was saying though, it happens. Pyroblast is a thing. So that makes us 3-2.
Throw versus Rexar.
Let the hunt begin for Doomhammer.
For Doomhammer. Got a pretty good curve here.
To my side.
Could have just put a creature there. Board control is very important. Eye pathogen. So it's an apple virus. Sounds about right.
Don't mess with Tusk.
It's quite a lot of fuel for Hounds, but Hounds isn't nearly as scary as it used to be since Buzzard is so ridiculously expensive now.
Suck steel, swine.
It may have been premature Hex. But it does give me extreme board control. And next turn I'll be able to play Silver One Knight. Or Silver One Champion, rather. 50 and added 5, so 5, 9, 11, 5, 9, 11, 13, 14. So that goes back down to 12.
Behold the might of Stormwind!
Let the dark in.
A little added bonus of getting an extra whelp out of that.
I let the dogs out.
Feeling pretty good about this. In the 3 games that we won, we ended with a full board of minions, so I think this is probably a pretty good sign that we're going to win this one. Well, that's annoying.
Well played. Elements guide me. Elements guide me.
And I imagine this is game. Can't think of anything you would have that would answer that. Alright. So that puts us 4-2. That's 3 matches. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. The next episode may only be 1 episode, could be several. However, no matter what, I do believe at this point we will have earned enough gold to start a 2nd arena at that point. So, good night, Gotham.